Hi folks, Caroline here, and I wanted to talk today, just tell a little story about my experience of quitting my job last year with no other job to go to. The reason why I thought I'd talk about this today was because I had this conversation last night with Roxanne, a fabulous new friend that I met in Toronto on the Brand Incubator, who's currently working but trying to start her SFM business. And I also just watched a video from Sean, one of my accountability partners, who's also struggling in his job right now, and also trying to build a better life for himself and his family and his son and his partner and so on. And so I don't know if this will help at all, but I just thought I'd put it out there, and see if it helps anybody. So where to start? So I got made redundant from my IT career 4 years ago. Off the back of that, had a big life change and went for a completely new career, became a photographer on cruise ships. Now, in terms of the way it worked, was I would be away for 6 months at a time on a cruise ship for a contract, and then that contract would finish, and then I'd have a period of leave, a period of time off before I started the next 6 months. And that time was typically anywhere between 6 weeks and 2 months. Now, when I made the decision to go to sea, I had a house, and I decided I didn't want to sell it, but I also didn't want to keep it. I couldn't afford to pay the mortgage on it while I was earning not very much and living at sea. And living at sea, I had board and lodging and everything I needed to live. So I decided to rent my flat out. All very well and good. So I got some tenants in, and so somebody else is now living in my flat and paying my mortgage. So I packed up all my furniture, gave it away, gave it on long-term loan to friends or sold it. Basically packed up my life and went to live on a ship. But when I came home for the 2 months in between contracts, I had nowhere to live. And I also wasn't earning any income during that time because I was only earning while I was at sea. And so for that 2 months, it was a very strange period for me because I wasn't used to not working, but for 2 months I had nothing to do, but I also had nowhere to live. So fortunately, my parents, being the very generous souls they are, opened the door to come and live with them and live in my old bedroom, which served me well for a little while. But at 36 years old at the time, loved my parents dearly, but sharing a house with them, that was a struggle. I just needed peace and quiet time and sleep, having just worked 7 days a week straight for 6 months at a time. A whole new experience, whole new learning and all sorts. So I just needed a bit of downtime. And my dad was so excited to have me home. It's like, oh, Caroline, what are you doing today? I thought we could do this today. Could you just help me with my website? Have you got 5 minutes? And it's just, I had no peace at all. And I need my own space, at least some of the day anyway. But anyway, what surprised me more than anything was how many of my friends and family, just offered stuff to me. They just said, hey Caroline, just come and, I've got a sofa, come and stay at my place, come and stay in my spare room, if you want to come and stay with me. They'd take me out, they'd say let's go for dinner, and they'd offer to pay for me and things like that, and which I never asked for. They knew I wasn't earning, and I knew that I wasn't, the new job I'd taken on cruise ships, I was earning a tenth of the salary of what I used to earn in my IT job, but I was 10 times happier. But it was just this stuff worked out, and people showed up that I did not expect, and certainly I wouldn't want to rely on, but it was just that enormous feeling of abundance and gratitude that came out of nowhere by putting myself in that position, and that taught me that no matter what happens, I knew I'd be okay. We all fear giving up our jobs and not being able to pay our mortgages and all these horrible things that might happen if we don't go to work every day. And we're trying to build this better life for ourselves. But to just spare a minute just to really, really think about what is genuinely the worst that might happen. And I think you'll find that the chances are it's very, very, very unlikely. And if you open yourself up, so that's what gave me then the confidence. So after 3 years then of working at sea, six month contracts, and equivalently 2 month breaks in between. Every time I came home, there was somebody willing to put me up, or often I ended up with sets of keys to about 4 different houses. People just gave me keys to their house and said, "Come around any time, help yourself, make yourself at home," which was just incredible. So I know, and that's why when I quit my job last year, with no job to go to, nowhere to live, I had faith that it would work out, and I didn't worry about it. And here I am now. Where are we? September. 9 months on, and I've had a house, and my dad gave me his car, and I've inherited some money, and just stuff has arrived as and when it's needed to, for me to be able to continue on this journey and give me the time and so on to build this business. And I feel like I'm living my ideal day already to an extent, even though I'm not earning any money in my business yet. But it's because I've let go. It's because I've opened myself to possibilities that I couldn't even imagine, and let go of the how, but just focusing on that point in the distance of where I'm headed to, of what I want to achieve. And the universe is delivering. So just wanted to put that out there, folks, just for any of you who are having a hard time at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not recommending you quit your job today and walk away from it all. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just knowing that, not living in that fear state, and maybe that if you are in a bad place in your current job, the job that might be providing you your marketing budget or whatever, that's the energy then that you're bringing to your business. So when you're trying to build your new business, you're bringing to it an energy that is that kind of limited, stuck, old mentality, maybe some negativity there. And is that necessarily truly the foundations that you want to build the business, your new life-changing, world-opening business on? So yeah, just thought I'd put that out there and just see if that chimes with anybody. If you've got any questions, just ask. But in the meantime, folks, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. All right, lots of love. Bye-bye.